environmental social governance scores, where it was easier for companies to borrow money if their ESG score was high. So it got to the point that banks were literally looking at the behavior of of companies, whether they, you know, everything from racial composition to did you donate to stop climate change, all this stuff, and gave favorable loan rates.
Hmm.
And so I think there's sort of been this larger macro move in society where for much of the last decade companies were incentivized of doing this. Um, so I think this also is a remnant of that.
Hmm.
Are you back fully? Can I hear you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I was giving you a I also wanted to talk about the other side because I only touched on it a bit about getting back to there's only a few people who could fill the shoes of a halftime show as we conceive of it right now.
Yeah.
For for those who don't know, the history of the halftime show is actually really complicated, and it's not. There's a lot of iterations of this. There was um, the era that was pre and Living Color. Living Color went live, I believe it was 92 or 93.
92
And
because Michael Jackson was 93. So they did theirs in 92.
so
And then
Fox
that
was an
tanked
upstart
everything.
network. They didn't have football at that point. Um, and they'd only been on the air a couple years.
Mhm.
And uh, and Living Color did a quick halftime show. You know, those who don't know what that is, it makes me feel old to have to say that, but in Living Color was essentially like a black SNL, a proto Chappelle show. Um, you know, a laughing in the Smothers Brothers sort of arc of primetime comedy shows, sketch shows.
Yeah, I
You
saw
know,
them
Jim
more
Car
closer to Second City TV in a way.
that too,
Um, b
absolutely.
but yes, SNL is a pretty good comparison. B you founded by the Wayans or the
Wayans
oldest
Brothers,
Wayans brothers,
Keenan
and
Ivory.
then right, because he wasn't even, I just happened to find this out when I forgot which one of them was on, Shannon Sharp on, oh my
Marlon.
god. Yes, and he said that, Keenan Ivory wasn't hip to giving him the gig, like, was
Mhm.
basically like, "You're gonna have to fucking earn it." So but several of the Wayans brothers were
Damon.
involved in the production and or stars, and then it gave us Jamie Foxx, Jim Carrey, obviously, Jennifer Lopez,
Mhm.
Tommy, what's the guy's name?
Davidson.
Oh, yes, thank you. So it's an incredible ensemble cast. So they did. I did not know this until the other day because I was not following
Oh,
football.
really? You
I
didn't know about
watched the
it?
Super Bowl. I didn't realize the halftime show was not always the big giant Godzilla thing that I
Sure.
know it as, and I didn't realize they were the ones who jump started it. And the list of the acts, and it was so hokey on the year before, and there were some famous acts, but it was the New Kids on the Block were on it, I think, a couple years before
Mhm.
'93. But it was more like this sort of hokey high school. I don't know. There was just something very like dinky about it. And then in Living Color, the Wayans brothers just said, "No, we're going to do our own. That you can tune into Fox to watch us." And then they had the counter at the bottom. And
Mhm.
then the year after that, the NFL says, "Oh shit, the ratings, fuck." They
Yeah.
go and get
Eh,
Michael Jackson, which is an amazing story.
yeah. They got 25 million viewers, which is a massive number for anyone who's counter programmed the NFL before or since. There's been a bunch of iterations, bunch of attempts to counter program it, and um, and that was easily probably still the most successful. Um, so that's those are two iterations of it, right? There's the pre Michael, pre Living Color, and then there's post Michael, and then we went through this period of mishmashes, kind of like you were talking about
Mhm.
earlier. Big Bad Voodoo Daddy did it with a bunch of contemporary acts at the time. Britney Spears did it with a bunch of people. It was and then we got into this legacy act stretch.
Oh god, with these fossilized classic rock bands. I'm a massive
Well,
classic rock
no,
fan. That's not what I wanna see. Oh, yeah, yeah. You're talking before we even get to, like,
yeah,
you know
no, even with I'd include Janet Jackson at that point as a legacy act.
mm,
I mean that Janet Jackson was nearly 20 years in at that point.
mhm,
and and the whole, Justin Timberlake, a nip slip. Um and then you throw in like the fossilized rock bands. Bruce did it, Tom Petty did it, the Stones
mhm.
did it,
The Who,
all
I'm pretty
all in
sure, did it.
winter. Oh,
Yeah.
and who? The
The
Who.
Who,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think,
that's
did
right. That
it,
was a Fox one.
and I thought they were terrible, and I'm a big, big,
And
big fan of theirs.
you two did as well. Um, they were closer to the
That was a
peak of their
that was a good one.
powers.
Yeah, that was the one right after 9/11, right, where they had the 2
Yeah,
lights and the names.
all that you can't leave behind era.
Yeah, yeah, that was they were the last rock band I think that could have done that. I don't even think they could do it now and seem relevant. They could put on a great show, but I don't think it would be
Well, I thought
certainly wouldn't have the cultural cachet that they once
I
had.
I disagree. I think there were a bunch of rock bands at that point still that probably could have. I think Foo Fighters could have. I think Pearl Jam could have. At that period of time, absolutely. Like that were big enough that were selling out massive stadiums. Um, um, and I think at that point, rock had not atrophied to the point that it has now. And on the cultural
Mhm.
stage, where I think that they could have certainly handled that and been relevant and done very well.
No, no, what I mean is if you 2 did it now,
Oh
they're
yeah,
one of the
you
they're one
two
of the
doing it
last
now was
bands
the
I
equivalent of the Who doing it then.
right. What I'm saying is when I think of bands, so they were perfect to do it back in the
Hmm.
February of '02 when they did it right after 9/11.
Yeah,
When I think of bands of that
January.
stature from the rock world, I would they're one of the first people that come to mind, but I don't think even today, I think they could put a great show on. I don't
Hmm.
think they would have nearly the same reach today as they did in '02.
I
Like
agree
they
with
just
that.
wouldn't.
I agree with that. Um, and then it evolved again. We we went to more like more contemporary, where Katy Perry.
Mhm.
Um, well, I'll throw Madonna in that legacy act thing, but like it got a little bit, it's gotten a little bit shakier in the last 15 years. The Left Shark dancing, um, and in recent years they've tried to get it sort of out of the pop rock world and go more niche, which is where
Mhm.
all this chafing is coming from. Um, and so like it's been a evolving thing, and it might be time for it to evolve again. So while it may not seem like there are acts that could fill those shoes, you could conceivably evolve it to the point where it's like, oh, why do you need a giant headliner? Think about it. The headliner is the Super Bowl itself. You don't
Or why do you
necessarily
need a
need. Go ahead.
sorry, I was gonna say, why do you even need a music act? Can you do something tied into a film that's
No,
got everybody's
no,
attention? Or could you do
no,
something
no.
do you does it need to be well, it could be music from a film, but does it need to be from the world of, like, strictly the world of music? Can it have some other brand tie-in? Can it be something else that's mimetic in some other way?
It could, I wouldn't. I my gut says, uh, uh, my gut says that you need music, because it's a passive experience, because it's a big show. Um, I wouldn't be willing to experiment with it. Maybe the NFL would. Um, I would consider, and this is where it gets difficult, right? So like, so if you the first round draft pick would be Taylor Swift, the second would be Drake, of the ones who haven't done it, artists of that size, and then you kind of are just left in the woods.
Mm,
So you could be a little bit, you could step down, like go with, all right, who's an arena act? And you don't have to be a stadium massive star. That's kind of what they did with Bruno Mars.
mhm,
Bruno was not of that stature. He was just a great performer, and you could just go like, okay, we're gonna just go with a great performer. Adele was another one that I was thinking about.
mhm.
Um,
I'm surprised Foo Fighters haven't done it,
Ed
or
Sheeran,
we don't, yeah, Ed Sheeran, we don't know if they haven't been approached. I think Dave Grohl would jump all over that.
I don't think
You
they've
know they
been
don't
approached.
you know they don't pay anything,
I know that that's part of it, or Taylor would have already done it. I
because she
think
doesn't
they
need the
don't.
exposure,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Anybody else
yeah.
benefits from it. I'm sure she would benefit from it, but, um, yeah, I remember LP from Run the Jewels tweeted, "NFL has been trash. They offered us to play the Super Bowl halftime show or something during the playoffs for exactly $0. So, and we were like, "No, fuck you."
I doubt they got offered a halftime show. My guess is probably it was a playoff halftime. I'm guessing.
Some other type function. You know what they
Yeah.
could do, which, you let me know if you think this is crazy. You know how for, like, before the season opener, they have the band playing outside, they have, like, different
Mhm.
music acts throughout the run up. They have somebody playing inside, they have somebody singing the national anthem, all this. Could they program it so that you choose which from a menu? Obviously, there's somebody in the arena playing, but you get to choose what you watch.
Sure.
Maybe they rent out a concert hall and somebody's already playing that town or whatever. Or